First, I know because a lot of the optics and commentary will be on Denver. I got to give credit to Baltimore. Baltimore, since the end of the season, let's look at what they've done. After a very good playoff run, and that defense was outstanding, the nation could finally see, man, that Baltimore, they really have a good defense. Lamar Jackson improving every snap along the way, only going to get more confidence. Removing the Super Bowl champion quarterback out of that locker room, all right, next to Lamar Jackson, removing him. So now Lamar, I talked to him at the Super Bowl, and, man, he's so excited about the offseason, getting able to work with the Ravens and their staff, their wide receivers, getting better in the passing game, realizing those things need to happen.
And not have to fight for a job.
Not have to worry about it. It is a huge relief. You can say what you want. I want to be a good teammate. Oh, yeah, it's nice to have him around. Man, get that guy out of here, man.
Right.
So I can flourish. If it's really my team, this guy has Super Bowl experience, great Super Bowl memories. These fans, he brought them a Super Bowl. Like, they're not going to forget that. So Baltimore, man, hand clap for them because they did an awesome job of giving their franchise quarterback a lot of confidence.
As for Denver?
Hey, Denver, John Elway. John Elway, I'm going to let you pick every other position on the team. And there's a lot of them.
This is insane.
I mean, we're going to keep 60 players on the roster. But, John, I just need you. Leave the quarterbacks alone. Now, I do like the fact you didn't spend a high draft pick being a fourth. Okay. For a guy who can be a starter, I can understand. I like the fact doesn't have any guaranteed money. So if he gets there, you don't like him, you can cut him.
No. This, in my opinion, this year is essentially guaranteed. You don't trade a fourth-round pick to not have him on the team this year.
Okay. But you don't have to because there is no guaranteed money. Now, it's not a great trade, but look where they are. I thought they were a year removed from that. I thought when you sign Case Keenum, you know what you're getting. You're not shopping at Whole Foods. You're shopping at the local grocery store.
Aldi.
The produce,
Aldi, but it's Aldi.
Listen. The produce will spoil on you before. Whole Foods, you got a little more of a guarantee.
Hey, listen, okay.
This is Case Keenum.
Listen, you have been...
Jenna, I'm so sorry.
You didn't get much protection last year. I'm not making a case.
Hold on a second, because you've been far too diplomatic here. John Elway has made repeatedly horrific decisions at the quarterback position. Okay, he got Peyton Manning, hand clap. He drafted Brock Osweiler with Russell Wilson on the board. That was terrible. But the best thing, listen, in Brock Osweiler's defense, he's 6'8". He then tried to give Brock Osweiler $15 million a year after seeing him play, got bailed out by the Texans giving him more. He then doubled down on that by trading up for Paxton Lynch. Paxton Lynch never played any quality snaps in the NFL, but in his defense, he's 6'5". And now you trade a fourth-round pick for Joe Flacco, who has been the worst starting quarterback in the NFL for the last 5 years. But in his defense, he's 6'6". Okay, like this is, you sign Case Keenum to a deal that is sticky to get out of after 1 year. Case Keenum is exactly who Case Keenum had been every year of his career, except for the outlier year in Minnesota, and you decide that's not good enough. So here's the guy you trade. By the way, Joe, you had to rush to the market for Joe Flacco. Okay, that's this playoff run that got him his contract. That's everything since the playoff run. The years and years of starting. By the way, you see those numbers in yellow, the yards per pass, touchdown reception ratio, passer rating? That represents dead last in the NFL in every single category. He's terrible. And contrary to what some people would tell you, being a Super Bowl winning quarterback, it's not like a power-up in a video game where in some big spot you can all of a sudden activate a magical shield. Like, well, hey, it's a big playoff game. Activate that Super Bowl winning quarterback power that you've been saving on. It does nothing for you. Steve Young's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I wouldn't want him on my team in 2019 either. This is ridiculous. It's a terrible move that you didn't have to make. And by the way, on the bright side, see, you know how many teams in the NFL will have more cap space allocated to their quarterback this year than the Denver Broncos? Only the New Orleans Saints. The Broncos will have the second most expensive quarterback room because you're paying $10 million to Case on the cap not to play, $19 million to Flacco to try to play, and whoever your backup's going to be. If I'm a Broncos fan, I'm so angry. What were they afraid of? That he's going to get cut and there's going to be a rush to give him a multi-year deal? If he's cut, what does he sign for? 1 year, $12 million, and you don't give up a pick? I don't get it. I don't get it.
What do you think John Elway thinks he's getting out of Joe Flacco?
A tall guy?
I think he's going to try to resurrect a deep passing game. I mean, they don't also have the type of speed at wide receiver that would say, okay, let me go out and get. If I had 2 or 3 guys, Emmanuel Sanders, I got a lot of respect for his game. He's a quality wide receiver. Has been at a Pro Bowl level, but you need 2 or 3 guys with speed. Joe Flacco, what has he been known for? Throwing the ball deep down the field. So if I'm not going to put off, now they do have a good running game. That offensive line's got to get a lot better because he is getting ready to get hit in the mile high. He better get him a prescription. At them dispensaries because he's getting ready to have some body pain. Joe Flacco is not going to be able to move in the pocket. I mean, that is the best thing about Denver is their bright young running back. How many times are they going to give him the ball next year to be able to set up Joe, play action down the field? Because Nick didn't point this out. That is what he does best based on what and contrary to what that wasn't on the graphic.
Yeah, well, you know what? And the thing Joe Flacco, and I'm not being smart aleck here, he does better than any quarterback in the league is drawing pass interference penalties on deep passes. That does not account in quarterback rating. You don't get credit for that. Maybe you should. The Ravens are always one of the best, or had been, at the 60-yard pass interference penalty being.
And the reason why is typically he has a little more arc on the football, so the defensive backs, the timing of it is not necessarily there. They're used to the ball arriving a little early, so in drawing contact with the wide receiver, that's the it's not a skill.
Right.
It's just how Joe throws, and he throws it deep.
But, Jenna, to your point, I know you were kind of joking when you brought up Case. Listen, the Broncos' 2 best offensive linemen got hurt last year. They traded away Demaryius Thomas. Emmanuel Sanders missed time. And Case Keenum played to his career averages across the board. If that wasn't a good enough level of play, given the circumstances from Case, then signing Case was a travesty. Like, when you signed Case to 2 years, $36 million, with over $20 million guaranteed, it was a 1-year rental, then you can't structure the contract to where it's going to be 5% of your total cap to cut him in year 2.
But that's not what they thought, obviously. They thought he was the answer.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, when you're looking at Case Keenum, you have to realize that when you're looking for a quarterback, but I might sign him for a short-term deal, but I can't stop looking for a quarterback. Because he is not going to stabilize a franchise. Like, that's just unrealistic. Like, you get Case Keenum until, man, I need you to patch up my tires until I get me some new tires. Like, you can't go a long way with him. Their situation last year and the dollars they signed him for, that was a good deal by John Elway. Signing Case Keenum was the better deal, the second best quarterback deal besides Peyton Manning showing up on his doorstep.
But then keep him. Then keep him for this year because Case Keenum played like Case Keenum. Don't allocate more of your cap and a 4th-round pick for Joe Flacco. I don't
cover a patch with another patch.
Since they won the Super Bowl, he has been, by every statistical category, the worst starting quarterback in football. That's not, there's no denying it. I don't get it. But he's tall.
You know what John Elway's doing? He just wants to make sure that he is the greatest Broncos quarterback that ever lived.
He's got that covered.
He definitely has it covered. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.